Hey folks, my name's Ed Travers. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm an Anglican priest serving in the beautiful parish of Christchurch-Shelburne that sits on the ancestral and on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Today, well, let me ask you a question. Do you ever wonder if you're on the right track? Do you ever wonder the condition of your heart? Do you ever wonder whether or not you're being or trying to be the person you're supposed to be? I do. I do a lot. I often wonder that kind of thing. I wonder that kind of thing about what I'm producing. I wonder that kind of thing about the way I'm acting, the way I'm behaving. I wonder that kind of thing about the things that I am consuming. Well, yesterday I was reading Proverbs 17, and all of a sudden verse 4 jumped out at me. And verse 4 says, "A wicked man listens to deceitful lips. A liar pays attention to a destructive tongue." Now we're gonna break that down right quick, okay? Because I don't want anybody out there to think that I'm calling them deceitful or that I'm calling them a liar. What this verse says to us is that we gravitate to what we know. We gravitate to what we are. We gravitate to things that speak to us where we are. A person of love will gravitate to love. A person of anger will gravitate to anger. A person of change, a person of hope, a person of possibility will gravitate to people and to messages and to events and to things that are hopeful, that are creative, that offer possibilities for the future, inspire possibilities for the future. See, I look at a verse like this and I say, okay, so what can this do for us? Well, this, again, it tells us a little bit about who we are. We can use this verse to determine where we are, who we are. We can ask ourselves, what is it that I'm gravitating to? Am I gravitating to angry messages? Am I gravitating to loving messages? Am I gravitating to hopeful messages? Am I gravitating to progressive messages, to conservative messages, to liberal messages? You get the idea. These are important. We can tell where we are by that kind of information. And if we determine that we're gravitating towards things that don't feed us in a way that help us move in the direction that we actually want to go, then we can actively and intentionally shift. When we feel pulled to one thing, we can say, no, I'm going to go to the thing that'll lead me to where I want to be. We can also use this litmus test, if I can call it that, to take a look at what it is we're offering the world. What it is we're producing, what it is we're saying, what it is we're writing, what it is we are professing. And we can use this test to determine what sort of messages we're offering. Are we offering a message of love? If we are, we will see people of love gravitating to that message. Are we offering messages of anger and messages of fear? Then we'll see people of anger and fear gravitate to what we're offering. Are we offering messages of hope? We'll see people of hope, needing hope, gravitating to those messages. And finally, I believe we can also take a look at who is standing in opposition. So when we offer a message, when we offer a vision, not only can we tell what sort of message or vision that is by who gravitates to it, we can tell by who stands in opposition. If we are trying to offer a message of love and we see people who are really angry or hate-filled or set in legalistic ways standing in opposition to us, then we might know that we're on the right track. And likewise, if we see people standing in opposition to us who are begging us to love more, who are begging us to offer hope, who are asking us to be less afraid, we may want to look at the message we're offering and say, we may be offering anger. We may be offering hatred. We may be offering fear. And we can change should we desire. When I look around my life, there are times when I see that I'm not being the person that I want to be because of what I'm gravitating to. I can tell that I'm not where I want to be because of what I'm gravitating to. There are times when I can tell the message that I'm offering on this channel or at home with my family is not the message that I desperately want to offer because of their reaction, whether or not they gravitate to it or whether or not they stand in opposition to it. It's good for us to take a look at ourselves like this. It's good for us to apply very simple rules. And don't get me wrong, this is a very simple idea. There are lots of things, and there's lots of conditions to it, I suspect, and there's lots of exceptions to it, I suspect. But it gives us something to start with. It is good for us to be introspective. It is good for us to challenge ourselves, to test ourselves, to determine which track we're on, to ensure that we're going to the places we want to go, to becoming the people that we want to become. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. I pray that we will courageously be willing to ask some of these questions of ourselves, some of these questions of what it is we're producing, the energy that we're sharing, so that we will know we're on the right track. Amen.